I'll start this video off blowing my nose, because that's what I did a lot earlier today. I said I didn't think I was sick, but you never know. Maybe I am. It is now Sabbath. It is Friday, December 5th. This is like the 5th time I started to record this. Microsoft Windows kept messing up my videos. And I guess a lot happened today. So I forgot something that happened a couple days ago. As I was leaving the gym on my bicycle and I was heading to the soup kitchen, a car came behind me on the road. And the person, as they were passing me, yelled something like butterfly. They called me butterfly. And so, I don't know if this is some weird pickup line, but stuff like this, these are signs from God. That people are inspired. If it's not just an angel, then humans channel, like angels inspire them to say things, and then those are markers to let us know what is going on. So as I was leaving the gym a couple days ago, like a truck or whatever passed me, and then the person said out the window something butterfly. So they called me that. So I guess I have come out of my chrysalis, and I am now visible. And this is about the time that the guy started hitting on me. So a lot went on today. I feel like kind of a little bit down right now, actually. And I'll explain. Like, later. I was walking my dog. And while I was walking my dog, I just passed by this antique mall that is now closed, and where I got a lot of my furniture in my living room. Or I got 2 cabinets there. I got a desk for upstairs. I thought I got something else there too. I don't remember. But anyways, the man there I noticed was a chosen one. And he was a good person. And he really listened. Like, people would come in and then he would talk to them for like 15 minutes. Each customer, he would sit down and he would talk to them and remember what they said the time before. And like, you would have to sit and wait. Like, if you came in and you wanted something, you would have to sit and wait patiently. So he would talk to each customer and take his time. And this was his style. So if you didn't know right away, you might be like a little annoyed. But then I figured it out. And he talked to me as well. So this is on my way walking back home with my dog. I walked past this antique mall that he owned. This man has now died. He was poisoned. I think he was with a female narcissist. He used to live in Columbus too. And we actually had a lot in common. He had the same type of van as me. And he said he used to be real strong too. I didn't think I was like super strong. But like, he didn't think I could lift the furniture. I said, I can lift that. And then I easily lifted like this piece of furniture, and he was surprised. But like, it wasn't that heavy, so. But anyways, he said, I used to be strong too. He said, I had that same van. I wish I didn't get rid of it. And then, like, he was very considerate. So he was a chosen one. And only meeting him and seeing him a couple times, like, I paid him a fair price for the items. I didn't get like a deal. It was just what it was worth. But he was a good person, and I think like his ex or whatever poisoned him, and then he had cancer and died. So his cancer, it was probably in the bowels or something. I'm not really sure, but it probably had something to do with being poisoned by his ex. I really do think that it is related. But anyways, he talked to me, he met me, he believed everything I said. I told him some of my story. And it was a little bit wilder than his story was. But people would come in and like they weren't really like that level of consciousness that this man was. And he would take his time and, just talk to him and like kind of like, I don't know if this is like therapy or what, but maybe that's something they don't get anywhere else. And he died. And then when I saw that, I was sad, because it's like, I just got this furniture. I actually bought like half the furniture in his little antique store, and then it closed. And it closed. Actually, I tried to text him again to ask him a question if he had the amp to go to the speakers. I got his speakers. He said, I can't believe you got my speakers. I bought his old vintage speakers. But I was going to ask him if he had an amp for it, and he never responded. I found out later he had died. So as I was walking past this store, um, there was a couch next to the window, and then there was a picture frame, and it had his picture on it, and it's like, I'm not a crier, but like I'm tearing a little bit, because this was a special person, and I thought, and it makes sense that like, his health wasn't great, um, but he had like a smile on his face, and he was there in this town, um, like doing a mission for God, spreading kindness and compassion. Or oh, I don't really know exactly what, but I saw the way he dealt with people, and he was like one of a kind here. And so when I came, then he could leave, because he was getting cancer treatments and all types of things. So he wasn't in the best shape. So he was holding down the town until I showed up, and so he was able to go. He was able to go to sleep once I came, but I still like I got a tear in my eye seeing that picture, because just on the couch, and then there's this, it's just like a good person. You don't see too many of those. But anyways, okay, so I was leaving the gym the other day, and a person in the truck drives by, and then they just say something butterfly at me, and I was wearing my brand new baby blue pants, so that might have had something to do with it. Um, I might have put some sunglasses on too. But I wasn't looking fashionable, I will say that. I had like my black boots on and a black coat, and, you know. But I had these fuzzy light blue Sherpa pants on, so I don't know. I guess you could tell that I was female or something. But this is what God does to let me know certain things. Um, So that means that I was in the chrysalis, like being formed and hidden, and now I've got my wings. I've got my wings now, and everyone can see it apparently. And I am not the only one that the people at the soup kitchen hit on. That is true. Um, I'm sorry. I was outside in like 20-degree weather for a long time. Um, um, they apparently do this to every single woman that comes in. So it's not just me. But the thing is that like nobody saw me is nobody saw me this way for a very long time at all. And I know when you go to the soup kitchen, that's where you're going to see all of it. But like no one saw me this way for a very long time. And now, it's kind of like both at the same time. At the soup kitchen is where the guys try to hit on you. But then at the same time, like, nobody, it was like spiritually blocked from seeing me as an available female. So, I don't know. But anyways, a lot of this is attack of the enemy. It really is attacks of the enemy. They're trying to distract me. They're trying to tie me down in a relationship that is not, like, from God. Like, not that like, maybe some of these people are kind of shifty or whatever, But today, it was a different person that hit on me. So, a different type of person hit on me today, so. And like I said the other day, I told them I'm off the market, and they just sent another one they did. They sent another one the next day. This was actually one of the volunteers. So, it wasn't one of the people getting the food at the soup kitchen. Those didn't work. And this time, one of the volunteers that's like back serving the drinks as I got a water cup, or I got like a juice or something, and he was there, and he said, I gotta take you out to get a steak sometime. I kind of turned. And I said, I don't know. He's like, you don't like that? And I said, I try not to eat it. I mean, I will. But I said, I got to be careful, because all these guys are trying to hit on me. All these guys are trying to hit on me. And they're trying to, I can't remember exactly, but I said, all these guys are trying to, go out with me, and I can't do that. So I'm really popular here at the soup kitchen. And basically, but this was a volunteer. He wasn't an addict. He wasn't a gang member. He seemed like just a person. But he was behind the counter serving the drinks. And he wanted to take me out to a restaurant, and like, yeah, that's nice, but I can't. I know I have told people before, so um, and I explained to him a little bit, so how God has someone for you, and you can't, you can't go and just date people. So I've been telling people this, but they keep coming, they keep coming. So but anyways, this kind of made me feel a little bad. Like they try different things. So he might have been on God's team, but still, um, I can't go out for a steak, with somebody. I can't do that. Because God has shown me like that I'm already married in heaven. So I told the first narcissist this. Of course, they don't respect your boundaries, and I'm already married in heaven, so I can't be dating people here. And but anyways, and then I went back to get another drink later, and and then I was mentioning like God's got someone for you, and you can pray for your person. So I can pray. And he asked me what my name was. I told him my name. I told him my name. My name's Jennifer. And this is fine because other people there know my. This guy, I think he works or he volunteers there quite often. So this is not a threat. People know my name anyway. So but anyways, and he said, "Well, can I pray to God for my Jennifer or Jennifer?" And I'm like, "You could, but it's best to pray for your person." I say, "Your person is better for you," and so so maybe this will get around to all the people behind the counter. So I don't know. This is like this is a humiliation, embarrassment ritual. Like, I don't know. Like, my whole life is a humiliation ritual. Um, and now they try all different types of people at the soup kitchen to go on a date with me. And I have to say, no, I can't, and then they see that I'm single. And so then I try to tell them, no, I'm married in heaven. I can't date here. I'm married in heaven already. Like, this isn't my first run. I've been on earth before. So I'm not single. Like, I am, but I'm not. I am, but I'm not. They don't understand this. And you try to explain it, you'll sound like a nut job. So then I gave the guy a thing to look up, and I gave him, and I said, this isn't my number, but this is, and so he was single. He actually seemed like a nice guy, and I said, ask God for this, and. But anyways, he was disappointed, and that makes me feel kind of bad. That's the thing, like making me feel kind of bad. But it was just another day and another attempt, and I'm not happy still. Like, I did enjoy my dogs. Like, something good happens and then something bad happens to balance it out, so nothing's ever great. It's like I found I found a safer way to get to the gym, but then like there's another problem. Or I found the soup kitchen, but then it's like icy and snowy and cold. Like, so that's what I mean. Like, there is a solution, but then there's another problem, and so nothing is ever great. And then I felt bad because this was like a nice guy, and I'm trying to say, like, I can't date, and and I was telling him all these guys are trying to date me, and I can't. And maybe they know, maybe they don't, because this was the guy I don't think he's paid. They volunteer there, so he volunteered and was passing out the drinks, and I told him this. I said, I guess I'm popular here or something. So then maybe that'll get around to all the people behind the counter. That'll get around to all the people behind the counter. So yeah, but it's like, I wonder if any of this is even real. Because like, no one ever thought this thing before. Like, this last week. No one ever thought this. So it's like, this is all fake. And then on YouTube, I don't even believe, and it doesn't make sense. Everybody has got these weird new age channels, and I cannot wrap my mind around, like, there's this channel that started showing up, and the guy says he's channeling Archangel Gabriel or Michael or something, and like, he's channeling something. Yeah, it looks legit, but he's saying like, you are God, and everything you see is a projection from your own mind. And it's like, that can't be. That can't be. Because there have to be other real people. Because what's the point? That would be horrible. That would be like hell if this is all fake and there's no other real people. But everything is kind of like fake. But if those other people or the beings that I'm interacting with are also their own entities and they actually exist, okay, that's fine. But how depressing is that if they're just a projection of my own mind? Like, no, it's not. And I can't even understand that. Because what's the point? Why would you torture yourself for nothing? There have to be other real people. This is ridiculous. I can't believe it, and it's like the most depressing thing in the entire world if that is actually true. But anyways, I'm trying to think if so that did happen, and the other man who gave me his phone number, he did not contact me. So as I was going through line to get my drink, I noticed there was like no water cups and or something, or maybe this is when I got juice. Yeah, I think I got a juice cup because I went lunch and dinner. I'm getting a little confused, and he was there, and it made me feel kind of bad because he doesn't understand when I say like I can't date. Um, are you with that person now? No, but they don't understand this. They don't. But he should have his person too. But yeah, it's a weird situation at the soup kitchen. It's like people are now noticing that I am a female, but at the same time, like all the females apparently get harassed at the soup kitchen from what this other woman did. But see, if she was a believer, if she was a recovering addict, then she's a target. So maybe it's only the believers that certain people are coming after or targeting. So maybe it's only the believers. And also I forgot. So like yesterday there was a woman and I thought she was on drugs. Maybe she was just like had a mental problem. Cuz I thought she was on drug and I saw something that kind of smiled a little bit cuz it was a little funny. So at the soup kitchen like yesterday there was a woman sitting there and she was so happy and I thought she was on drugs. She was so happy and she was saying incoherent things that didn't make sense and making grunts. And then she stood up and walked and she kicked one leg up and then she was walking all weird and like woo and so happy. So I thought she was clearly on drugs and she was sitting at the chair in the corner smiling. And she was a pretty attractive woman too. I thought she was on drugs. But and then she was there again today and doing something and acting weird again. And I asked them. There were some people there behind me. I think so it was like a couple. I think I'm not sure if they're together. The woman I think is the woman who poisoned my food the first time. So, but then she was there with a man too. And I said, what kind of drug does that? And then he said that like wasn't a drug. Sometimes people they just do things or they go like this or they hit the table to make themselves feel better. And he says everybody's got problems. Didn't say, not the way I'm saying it. He said everybody's got problems. He kind of spoke like a soft like normal way. So I didn't realize maybe she was mentally ill, but whatever she had, she was really happy. She was really happy. But actually, I thought she was on drugs, and she was putting one leg up and kicking it as she stepped, and the other leg was walking normally, and she was like, woo, and she was dressed well. And she looked like pretty healthy, so I thought it was drugs, but who knows? Who knows? Anyways, she was very happy, and so that was. But I thought, like, someone told me they have a lot of mental health services in this town, and then I actually biked past and I saw one, and I walked past and I saw one, and but she was just sitting at the soup kitchen, and and then like I heard him say something like she's not causing any trouble for her to be here, like, because she was acting kind of strange, like she was making noises and acting weird, and then so that couple there, and she was saying, and then he was like, she's not hurting anything to be here, so I guess it wasn't. Anyways, I got some leftovers. The mama behind the I don't know her. I need to ask, but behind the counter, she recognizes me. She knows when they got pork or ham. She comes and gives me something with turkey in it. So she is so sweet and kind. She seems like a good person. So I came back home. I had like a little snack for the dogs. I didn't give them too much. And I also had a couple of things I'm saving because it is now Sabbath. The soup kitchen follows Sabbath. The soup kitchen does. Not the farmer's market, not the churches. The soup kitchen follows Sabbath. So, yeah, and they are doing God's work. But anyways, the enemy infiltrates everywhere. Let's see. So they are closed on Saturday and Sunday. And their dinners are at 4:30, and then actually when they close, it's starting to get dark. So I'm able to go get my dinner. And actually, this might still be something you could do on Sabbath because charity and like feeding people isn't necessarily a 9 to 5. Like, that's something that you might be able to do on Sabbath. The point was so that people weren't going to work 7 days a week. That was the point of it. And God prescribed a specific day. Saturday is Sabbath. Like Sabados is Sabbath, and that's in Spanish. Um, but people don't follow it. They follow what the churches and schools say, and they lied. So, and people just continue to go along to get along, and they're like, that's good enough. They don't want to change. I'm trying to think what else. So I fed my dog some snacks, and I did stop at the gym for a little while, and then I left right from there. Or I sold a couple items. They weren't like extremely expensive or anything. Maybe if I make $20, but it takes several days for that money to hit my account. And, well, maybe if I made $22 today, I don't know. That's big money. That's big money when you normally don't sell much at all. Anyway, I used to. My computer with all of my stock photos, my pictures of my merchandise, is not working. So, and then this one you can't put too much on. It's slow and laggy because it's Microsoft. Just everything is blocking me. But maybe they'll get rid of the income tax first, and then I can sell the stuff again and not have to want to kill myself thinking about filing. I'm not filing my taxes. Fuck you. IRS is already dead. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I am determined. I am not doing it. Um, so if you want to send someone to my house, I forbid it. But if you come, then I'll just say I don't owe you anything. Goodbye. I'll show you the door. I'm sick and tired of this. And if the Trump administration is not going to give the $2,000 or whatever tariff thing to the people that don't file, that that is wrong. The reason it's also wrong is because whether you're retired, whether you're a veteran, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, no matter what your situation, we are still purchasing things and paying these tariffs. So women buy more, and women are not even supposed to be working according to God. Like, if you have extra time and you want to, but obedience is better than sacrifice. Working is sacrifice. Obedience is being a stay-at-home mom. But, so actually this is apparently God's stance. But, anyways, that doesn't mean you're not equal. You're absolutely equal. It's just, why are we doing it? So anyways, if I don't get this money, I'm going to be pissed. But, I guess that's it. Last year, they bribed me with, I was supposed to get grants and get government assistance and help me fix my home. They never did. So I filled out this shitty-ass fucking taxes for nothing. And now they're telling me that I gotta, if I have to file taxes to get because I had to buy a lot of things on Temu. I had to buy this hat. I had to buy this hat because I bike because I don't have a vehicle. I had to buy this hat on Temu because it is 24 degrees outside right now. And when you're on a bicycle, your ears feel like they're going to get frostbite and freeze off. And then I had to buy new warm pants because my transportation is a bicycle. I had to buy a bike basket so that I can put things in it and go places and buy things because I can't afford DoorDash. And there's so many things. Like, I had to buy a lot on Temu. It's like everything. And this watch, everything is imported. And so at the time when I am broke and don't have any money, and I am forbidden from God to get a job, but if I tried, I would be blocked. My vehicle is taken away. My clean clothes were taken away. If I went and got a job and I would bike there, then my bike would be stolen. This is what God does. I am not allowed to have a job. And so if this is what's required to get the tariff money, then everybody will find out about it. And I'm going to be famous, too, in the future. This is what I heard. I'm going to be famous. And not just me. All of the remnant. We're going to be important. We're going to be important because we care about people. We care about others. We don't want to steal from them. We don't want to rob from them. We want to do well, but we want others to do well. We want everybody to be doing good. And that's why we're going to be famous. because almost everybody, if they're like a narcissist or, just kind of a low life scammer, well, nobody, we're sick and tired of it. We don't want it anymore. So, and we see what Hollywood is. We see what professional sports are in the fashion industry. We don't want that anymore. I'm trying to think, what did I do? And I went back to get dinner, and probably something happened then. The food was pretty good. Uh, I got some oranges and like turkey sandwich, a turkey sandwich to take home. And so the stuff that's prepackaged and is clean, then I got like a reusable shopping bag, and I bring it with me on my arm. And things like if I get an apple or a banana or something, I toss it right in there. Or if I get like a sealed like pastry or something, or like a bread, it's in plastic wrap. I drop it in my bag, and so then I have more room on my tray, and then that stuff doesn't get messy, so I can bring it home. Because they are not open on Saturday and Sunday, so um, I had an extra, like the woman behind the counter, she said, "Oh, I like that bag," and mentioned that a few times. I had something similar that it had still had the tag on it, and so I brought that in and gave it to her today. So maybe somebody will use it, maybe not. I don't know. But I remembered she said that, so I thought, because if people they leave with leftovers, then that's just a really good bag to put the leftovers in. It's a little bit structured. It's lightweight. It's better than a Kroger bag that could rip or stuff like falls over in. But anyways, yeah, I don't really remember for dinner what happened. Um, it was pretty good. As I was leaving lunch, the people that took me to the laundromat, they were leaving right before me, and my bike was right behind them. And they did stop a minute, maybe thinking I was gonna, I don't know if they were just stopped anyways or they were gonna let me go. And then I started to go the other way, and I was behind them for a minute, so they saw me. And I'm not sure if they saw the man behind the counter, the volunteer hitting him, because I saw the woman, the wife, she was there, and she might have seen the man behind the counter trying to hit on me. So now they know that. They might have told other people, or maybe they don't talk to anyone else. Um, and then if this other man told people and he volunteers, I don't know, maybe he didn't tell anyone. Maybe he's embarrassed. But if he did tell him, then maybe that's getting around. I don't know. I don't know, because I'm not trying to take advantage of the soup kitchen, but I'm not allowed to just be dating anybody. I have had lives before, and it's not just me. It's not just me. Many people have. Many people have been alive before, and they're here for the end times. I don't know. So, if I remember something else, I'll tell you. The food, it was pretty good. I came home, and then it was getting dark, and I saw my dogs were so happy, and I thought, I'm gonna take my big dog on a walk. Oh, this is why. I forgot. Oh, I almost forgot. So there was an addict who is like kind of recovering, but he's still. So I saw him for lunch, and he was not on drugs, and he didn't have it. So God shows me things in the spirit. He was fine. And he was looking really good and healthy, and he had his dog. So, like, right as you leave the soup kitchen, he was on that landing at the top of the steps with his dog. It was a beautiful dog. Um, so kind of like, it wasn't a German Shepherd. It was white, and it had long fur. And then it had, like, brown on its nose and its paws. But it was, like, a really nice-looking dog. And it liked me a lot, and I pet it. I was like, this is beautiful. And then I had my bag with my leftovers, and the dog was sniffing that, and I spun around, and just slowly. And then his dog, like, gets up, and it so it jumps up on me, and it puts its paws, like, right here. And it wasn't that heavy, like, my dogs are a lot crazier. And I saw his eyes, like, because God shows us things in the spirit, and he was, like, really worried, like, oh, no. He was like, oh, no. And like, it didn't even budge me a millimeter or any, I don't think. Like, and I'm like, oh no, the dog liked me so much that it, like, came up, and it put its paws right here, and it looked at me. I was petting it. It, like, really liked me. I said, maybe it smells, probably smells my other dogs. I said, this is nothing. I got three problem dogs. Because, like, that one there, and then Sarah, she's wild and crazy. They're so loving, too. But I'm just saying, like, I am used to my dogs, so, like, now I'm kind of used to them. They're normal to me. So his dog was actually seeming to be very gentle to me because I'm used to these. His dog seemed gentle to me, and he was like, "Oh no," because I didn't see it jump on anyone else. Like it really liked me, and it just like it didn't like jump like this. It just stood up and it put its paws like right here, and it looked at me in the eyes. And so then I had the idea, I'm gonna take my dog on a walk this evening. So when I got back from the soup kitchen, I'd always take the big one for two reasons. Because he can handle himself if any fighting pit did try to attack, then he could destroy them, but he doesn't even want to. He could protect himself. The other dogs would probably be murdered because Miles doesn't know how to fight, and Sarah, she is a girl, but still. And also, it is freezing outside. And Sarah doesn't like the cold. Miles does, but Miles doesn't really like walks. And he can't defend himself. So I just feel bad. But until I have another person here, then I can only take Reese. And I really don't even really feel safe doing that. But in the winter, people don't let too many pit bulls outside. They would probably freeze to death. So he is, at least he's like half St. Bernard mixed with something else. And I think there's a little bit, so it's Saint Bernard mixed with a mutt, and that mutt even has a little bit of Saint Bernard in it too. So the DNA results said he was 55% Saint Bernard. So I'm thinking, and then 17% pit. So I'm thinking is somebody had a purebred Saint Bernard, and then some mutt that was mostly pit bull. Also had a little bit of like Chow and Saint Bernard and other things in it too. Okay, and they had puppies that were unwanted and they were given away. And it's just the most sweet, beautiful dog. But his teeth are kind of rounded, so they're not too dangerous. His claws are kind of rounded, but Sarah's are pointy. Anyways, I thought I'd take him for a walk. I walked all the way to the soup kitchen and back. I walked like 3 miles. And it was cold, but I was able to handle it with these babies on here. Dirt on me. And then I walked past the antique mall, and then, like, my eyes cheered a little bit. Because it was just, there's a couch. So there's, like, the store window. And then right next to that store window inside was a couch. The only thing sitting on that couch was the picture frame with this man's face on it. This is kind guy. And I only saw him a few times. But, oh, man. That, see somebody like that was sad. That was sad. And I continued to walk, and then there's like a hospital a block from my house, so I ended up having to go all the way around it and taking longer. And my dog, he enjoyed the walk, but he also was a little nervous at points, so maybe he didn't like the cars going by. He didn't like to walk in the road where the cars are. Good boy. But he overall enjoyed the walk. And then when we had to go past the house, like, he looked back at me like he knew we were going past, because they know where the house is. But, like, there was a hospital here, so we had to go around it. He, like, knew that we had already passed the house, and he looked at me, like, to let me know. And then we turned up this next block. And so, like, a block from my house is a bar. And they do karaoke once a week. I went to that last year a few times, but I don't do it this year. But now it's Sabbath. Well, as I was ready to go home, and I walked past, and I see the person who owned this house before. He has got a unique bicycle, and these things are expensive too. It has 2 wheels in the back, and it has a big basket, and I know why. And he has one of those big triangles on the back, like, so if a car is behind, then the headlights will flash, like, reflect off of it. So it's like one of those triangles so that you don't hit something. Well, he has that on the back of his bike. So it has 1 wheel in the front and 2 in the back. It's really wide. He has this because he likes to go to the bar. And if he's drunk, he can ride this safely back. I'm not stupid. But it's a great idea. It's a great idea. But my bikes only have 2 wheels. I do like going faster. Now, that would have been convenient, but actually, I put a basket on the back of my mountain bike, So I'm able to transport stuff in that. And maybe I could only fit half as much as his big basket, but that's okay. Because if I go to the gym every day or two, every couple days, just for fun, I'm going to use a massage or whatever, so I'm not at home alone, then I don't need a huge, like, because I can still secure things, like, um, I can use bungee straps or bungee cords to attach things to my basket that are even larger. So, and I saw that. I saw it, and so then I went back and I looked, like, because there's a banner, and I looked underneath of it, and I looked in, and I saw he was in there, and he was happy, and it looked like he was about to, like, he had his arm around someone, and then he motioned something, and he started walking, and I thought, it looks like he's leaving. So then I stood there and I waited a couple minutes to see if he would leave. And then another group of people park, and then they start coming in, and my dog barks, and he does not like drunks. So my dog is the sweetest dog in the world. He is afraid of addicts. He is afraid of alcoholics. It's not the person, it's the spirits in them that he is afraid of. So he barked, and I waited a little bit more, and then I just thought, you know what, I better. It's been a while now, so I thought he was leaving, but I waited long enough. If he had to go to the bathroom or something, he didn't come out. So I thought, I'm gonna put my dog. I'll put my dog in the house. Come back, and if he's still here, I'll talk to him. Because I had texted him and he never replied. So I wanted to know if he even get this text, because God blocks things. He maybe didn't get my text at all, or or maybe he knows something. Like I would like to ask some questions to some people that there's never a good time, like they're hiding or they're being involved in spying on me. I don't know. I was going to ask some questions about that. What's going on there? But then they're never outside anymore. I don't know, I guess. And so then I put my dog in the house and I say hello to him for a minute. And I said, I'm going to go back out. And then I walk. And keep in mind, this is 1 block from my house. It's not that far. I was only in my house for a couple minutes. And then I come back, and then his bike is gone. He is now left. So it's like God blocked this, because it looked like he was leaving. I stood there patiently and waited several minutes. And my dog did want to go home too. And then the dog barked at people, and they can't. Okay, I need to put my dog away. Then it'll probably be better to talk to him. So I thought maybe he'll still be in the bar. And it is Sabbath. I'm not going to buy or sell. I could just walk in there and talk to him. And then so I walked to my house, put the dog in, say hello to him a minute, come back. This wasn't very long. And then he's gone. So then that it was a little downer, because I know it wasn't meant to be, but here I am alone again. It is now Sabbath. It was sad seeing the picture of that guy, and that guy, like that. I don't know. Other people have to miss him too, I think. It's like somebody you only see a few times, but they're special. There's something special about it. And he actually had some things in common with me, so. But I kind of knew that he was a chosen one in the town, and so he had to stay until I came, and then once I came, then he was able to leave. But still, like, other people aren't like this. There seems to be, like, a lot of alcoholics, a lot of drug addicts here, and it's nice to see some people have recovered. The one woman, though, I thought was nice, and she told me she was recovering, um, gave me cursed food items, so, that wasn't very promising. I don't know. But then the other woman, who seemed like she was recovering, she helped me the next day. So that's a good sign. God has shown me, even if somebody is a recovering addict, they could still be an enemy. And, then here's one that is not. Here's someone that is a good person, so. At least this is what I think. And they could have also been angels, too. I don't know if any of this is real. This sucks. Like, when I'm thinking, this can't all be in my mind, and this is a projection. I don't want that. Who wants that? There's nothing good has really happened yet. I get to love my dogs, but it's not enough. This is not enough. Like, if I projected this, then why does it suck? Well, actually, some things are good. I do have some, but like, there's always something bad that comes along with the something good. Probably something else happened. There's a trial coming up, so if today is the 5th, I think there was a scheduled trial in 10 days from now in Columbus. There is a scheduled, it's a court case going on. Um, it's a scam and a fraud, and I don't I don't see any way that he could win. This my ex narcissist was suing me. He can't win, but if I don't go, if I don't show up, then he wins because I was a no show. I don't have a way to get there, and I cannot like I could, but I don't want enemies to take me. I don't want enemies like pity party. They have to help me out. That's why I said God sent someone that's not evil to take me to court. It's 10 days. I have to suffer for 10 more days and then go here. And then how does that put money in my bank account? It doesn't. It just means that I'm not being sued anymore when he loses. Well, but it was good news about the laundry, so I was going to wait a week to go again because I'm trying not to push it, do you want to be respectful? If somebody offers to help you, you don't show up with like 10 loads of laundry, you just get the one, okay? To be respectful. And they said once a week. I said, okay, so then a week later I'll go again. I'm not gonna push it. I'm not gonna be disrespectful. And I think that's the reason why that they were so generous. It's probably some other people were not appreciative, and so that's why. But anyways, yeah, the big thing was somebody else tried to hit on me, and this time instead of it being a criminal or a narcissist, it was somebody that volunteered at the soup kitchen. And then I actually felt bad because he seemed like a nice guy. And he said, could I pray, because so they pray for your person God made for you, okay? And he's like, can I pray for Jennifer? I said, you could, but you should pray for your person is better than me. You say you think you can't get some. No, the person God has for you is better than me. Is better than me. Okay? Like, things you like, things you don't like, things that annoy you, okay? So, anyways, yeah, I'm just kind of depressed because it's cold, and I was thinking, hey, there was the guy that lived here before, and I want to ask him some questions, and then I wait, and then he doesn't come out, and then I come back, and he's gone. And it's Sabbath, so I think I'm gonna stay home and not even go out at all tomorrow. I'm gonna stay in my house. And maybe I'll even take a shower now that I have a way of getting clean clothes. But I still am not going to change my clothes every day because then I have to still like wear them a few days because I've got a bunch of dirty laundry that I need to work on reducing the size of that. Um, so basically I'm still going to so I think I'm probably going to wear like the shirts and pants for like a week or something and take a bath and change change the undergarments. Does this make sense? So that actually, you won't smell too bad if you do that. I'm thinking like a lot of this smell is from my dogs. There's a smell my dogs have and it makes my clothes have a stinky smell. Yeah, it's Saint Bernard. I'm sorry. Nothing I can do about that. Um, the furnace filter wasn't replaced here for more than a year, and it's bad. Like, dust falls on everything, and it smells like stinky dog and mice. There you go. So that's what I mean. Why isn't this fixed yet? Why isn't this fixed yet? It's supposed to be restored. It's not restored. um, so many things, like, they could have been great, but they were always sabotaged. And, like, God knows I don't like to disappoint anyone. I like to help people. So my training was actually offending people. And like today, having to say no to somebody that was a nice guy. And like, and a year ago, I would have thought, actually, a year ago, it's like, I'm not interested. But if you want to go out and get something to eat, just like as friends, but now, no. No, because actually, there was somebody at the fair. They tried to send somebody then. They tried to send somebody at the fair. That was a famous gospel singer. I was sitting right in the front row, right in the center. They had the guy, and they're like, we don't normally do this, but here's our guy, and he's single, and here's his age, and he was sitting there like this. He was sitting there like that. he had red hair, so it was kind of funny. He was actually pretty good looking and somewhat fit compared to the others. But then he was also kind of silly too. So this is a funny thing. He's actually a pretty good looking guy and stuff. This is not. It's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. But then he's like, "Is anyone interested?" So the woman was like, "Is anyone interested? Is anyone interested?" And he's standing there like, or no, he's sitting down now like this, like the Atlas pose. You can't make this up. How silly this was. And actually, this is something I did not mention. And I actually thought, you know what? I will go on a date with this guy because he's in a gospel band, and I want to talk about like our spiritual experiences, and I don't want to continue. I don't want to actually have a relationship, but I'll get a free meal because I'm broke. That's what I thought last year. Well, and I actually went back because something about gospel music came up again after I went to this community meal. So this one church was involved with another gospel station. And so I was doing a little research, and then I went to the Facebook page for this one gospel performance, and I went back to the pictures of last year. And so when this band was performing, and they had kind of a new guy there, and he was like taller, and he was in a little better shape. And this is the one that they were like, anyone want to go on? He needs a wife, he needs a girlfriend, or anyone want to go on a date with him? Oh, he's 2 years older than you, and look, he probably makes a lot of money. I didn't like him, but I'm thinking, I actually would like to talk to these people and see what they know, because I've been seeing a bunch of spirits and things. But then God blocked it. Actually, some enemies that worked for the Kingdom of Darkness came, and they saw me, and they came and blocked me. And so God actually used them to stop me, because then I might have actually felt bad, and he might have like wanted me to go on another date, and I would have been like not wanting to hurt his feelings and then go on another date. God knows that. So now I know. See, I have grown. I'm like, no. So I went and looked at their website when they were performing. So that singer, that guy, let's see. So the day that they were performing too, there weren't very many people there. That's how I got the good seat, because they had a paid performance in the main arena. And so they have a free performance in the gospel tent, and then they had a paid performance somewhere else that was a famous musician. And for gospel, like, this is actually on the radio. But it's not as popular as the regular music. So because of that, there was a lot less people in the gospel tent, and I got the prime seat. And in the picture, he was looking. So this person that they were trying to, like, anyone interested? He was standing there and looking. So I thought, I'm going to go through and see if I'm in any of these pictures. I'm going to go see if I'm in any of these pictures of the gospel tent. And so I go to that day, and I didn't really see anything, because there's tons of people. There could be hundreds of people in the tent some days. And then the picture is taken from the back. So then I look at the day that particular band was playing. And then I look and I'm like, wait, I think that's me in the front row. And then I looked in the band that they were trying to hook up or to get a date for. He was facing me. So actually, to find myself, all I had to do was to go to this band and look at the direction the singer was facing, who he was looking at. I think he kept looking at me too. Not all the time. It wasn't as extreme as this serpent Nephilim comedian. The serpent Nephilim comedian kept staring at me because they could see my light. But this, he wasn't looking at as much, but he was looking at me a lot. And so the picture they took, and he was looking, and then I was in the seat, so I could see the back of my head and the shirt, and I'm like, wait, that's me. I knew what my hair looked like in my t-shirt and my jeans. So I was there. That's my proof. So why do they keep trying to send? Like, is this real? I don't know. Because, like, none of this is just real people. Like, oh, you meet someone at work. Oh, here's a neighbor. No. It's all weird. It's weird. And so I know that the answer is I can't do it. So anyways, now I'm just like, no, I can't, and I gotta hurt people's feelings, which I don't like. It's just constantly hurting people's feelings. I might have actually last year felt bad and went out to get a free steak and talking like, I'm really interested in it. And then he might have guilt tripped me into going again. This is what they do, and then you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. So God trained me to hurt feelings, because when you have a mission, then the enemy will use stuff like this to distract you. But also, like, when you have a mission, that takes priority. And so you will end up having to say no to people. You just have to. Because you have to serve God first and foremost. And see, there's my sweet doggy. That's the one, he went on a long walk. He is so sweet. Oh, um, I took him all the way down to the soup kitchen. I was telling him this is where the food comes from. And there was a man standing um, right, like at the building right before the soup kitchen. And then he was acting a little weird, and I pull him over to the side, and then he goes that way. Because I'm keeping him back. He doesn't attack anyone, but he could make someone nervous because he's so big. And the other man goes that way. He asked me, "Is that an English Mastiff?" He had a nice voice. He had a kind voice. I mean, I said, "No, actually, he's a Saint Bernard mix. He's just a big baby," because he saw he was kind of. Yeah, I said, he likes this weather. I don't. But anyways, I don't know if his feet were getting cold after a while, or... He is a Saint Bernard mainly, so I know he can handle this stuff, but he does not like the cars on the road. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing when he recognizes this is where the cars go, and I don't want to walk there. But it's just kind of depressing. It's cold. I'm at my house here. I need to go hug some dogs, but that's not enough. I get all the dogs and I hug them at the same time, and it's still like I need more than this. I need something else. Like, I thought, looking at the people in the bar, and they were happy, and they were smiling in there, and they were talking to each other. Like, we're in isolation. Like, maybe I want to have a beer, and I want to go and talk to some people. I couldn't even do that, because it's a Sabbath. Anyways, I don't buy or sell on the Sabbath. Beer is not a sin. Being an alcoholic is. So, that's the difference. You do it too much, and you'll get addicted. That is wrong. But drinking a beer is not a sin. This is something else the church lies about. But God even tells you, like, to use your extra money or whatever at the end of the year, go on a trip, drink with your wife or whatever, and enjoy yourself. But it's always like during a party or celebration, and it's not at home every night. So it's not just to be getting drunk at home. It's for a special occasion, a party or a vacation or something. And so I see these people in there, and they're happy. They're drunks. They're together, and this is how some people become addicted. They become alcoholics. But, we don't get that. We're not allowed to have that. And other people, they're getting together. And most of the time, I'm fine, and I don't care. But, it's just, quiet, and it's cold, and now I'm at home, and there's nothing really to do. I mean, I guess I'll make coffee. I've got instant coffee here. So it's a little depressing, I guess. But it's not like mental health, because it is what it is. It is what it is. I can handle anything. By saying, my life right now, I got some good things. I still think this is a cool house. I still like a lot of things about my house. I like my bicycle. I don't like that I don't have a vehicle. That I would, if I had a vehicle, it's 20 degrees outside. If I had a vehicle, I would not be riding my bike right now, okay? If my house was fixed, I would be sleeping in my bed, okay? There's just what I'm saying, but there are still good things. My house is cool, my dogs are great, but nothing is perfect. Nothing is as good as it can be. And, there's just nobody even to talk to. I can't call, my fake family and friends that were enemies. I can't call them and talk to them. And, God blocks me from having any real connection with anyone else. We can meet once, we can talk for a while, but then it's like we can't really meet again. Everything seems to be scripted or coordinated, So I guess I'll just watch some YouTube videos at home, and probably stay here tomorrow. Maybe I'll lay in bed. I don't know. That is December 5th, 2025. Thanks for watching. God bless you all.